Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, lately we've been hearing some very bad news coming out of the African country of the Gambia about women being deleted, as we're using the word now. And it has been a puzzle. It's a mystery to many. Someone asked me to speak on this, and I have been looking for information about this. There isn't a lot of information, but recently an African American woman or a Black American woman was deleted in the Gambia, and I'm told that the State Department is looking into that murder, is looking into that death, because I don't think it came across as being murder. It was just a suspicious death. And the interesting thing about her was that she had posted a lot of videos about things that were going on in the Gambia. So Go Black to Africa has that information, and I am going to put it in the description box so you can see what he's saying and what people are saying about what's going on in the Gambia. Now, there's one thing that I do remember on social media a few years ago, maybe 1.5 years or 2 years ago. People were talking about, oh, go to the Gambia, go to the Gambia. You can buy land very cheap in the Gambia. Go to the Gambia. So a number of African Americans were moving to the Gambia, as well as in Ghana and other parts of Africa. The situation got so bad in Ghana that even the YouTubers, the Black YouTubers, were saying, don't try to buy land in Ghana yet because there's so much confusion about buying land. Africa is not the United States. I would assume, and I'm going to make the assumption, that many of the African people are pretty much like the indigenous people of the United States were. They were living on land that had been in their family for maybe hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years. But they may not have the deeds to the land. And I'm not saying I don't know. I haven't been there. I don't know. But I know there's a lot of land dispute going on over there. And it could be something like people talking about scamming. And it could be family members who are selling land out from under their family. And the family hasn't consented and don't know about it. And then you go and with some phony or fake document or some document somebody gave you that's fraudulent, and you're arguing that that's your land. But now they may not be taken so kindly to that. I think people who are going to these African countries need to know what they're doing. Even the Africans themselves will tell you that. You need to know somebody in the areas. You need to have some kind of a support team that you can trust or that you think is trustworthy, because as they say, they don't do business in those countries the way we do business in the United States. Now, just based on what I've read and what I've heard, a lot of what's going on over there has to do with land, with people taking, and I'm going to say it, it sounds like people are taking other people's land, and people from the U.S. or from the West, from Britain or France or wherever they are going back to Africa, they think they are legitimately buying land, when in fact somebody might be selling their cousin's land and the cousin doesn't know anything about it. Now, this is what I'm hearing, but it's not going to be that complicated. You're going into a land that you don't know. They have their own culture. They're still doing female genital mutilation in the Gambia. In fact, some of these cultures are taking young girls from the United States back to those African and Asian countries to do female mutilation on those girls. So their culture is not our culture, which is why you have to move cautiously when you're going into somebody else's culture. It doesn't make any difference about you being an American. It's their country, it's their culture, it's their way of life. So you can't go over there forcing American values or ideals on those people. I'm saying this because it's a very serious situation. I don't believe that, and I don't know, but I don't believe that people just wake up one day and decide they're going to kill you. There has to be a motive. I mean, there is usually a motive. And the lady in the video was even talking about demons and devils and the people that were around her that she thought were evil. Your heart goes out. I really regret it, and I really feel sorry for the people who are losing their lives. One of them, the latest one that ended up dead. I don't know if she was killed or poisoned, because that's what they were alluding to, the fact that these people are poisoning these Westerners. And she was from the UK. She had been, her family, I believe her family was from the Gambia or a West African country, and she had moved back from the UK, and she was very excited about being back in Africa and building Africa and making Africa, making the Gambia is where she was, making it all that it could be. And there is a lot of struggle going on in West Africa, and they fight against each other because we look in the area of the Sahel region, where those young men are trying to take over their country and their country's resources from those Western countries, and their lives are at risk. The guy in Burkina Faso has had 4 or 5 assassination attempts on his life because he's trying to make the country better for his people. And the more I listen to this, the more I listen to Africans talk, the more I understand why they leave. We call them runners. But when your situation in your country becomes so untenable that you just can't stay and you think there's a better life somewhere else, it might not be, but you give it a shot. But I am going to put the video link from Go Black to Africa in the comment section, and you can hear what he's saying. He's also talking about women traveling without men and women needing men in their lives, and women do. We need men. There's no question about that. But every woman doesn't live her life like that. Many of us do want men in our lives, but some don't. And that doesn't mean that they can't travel because they don't have a man, but it does mean that you need to be careful, especially when you're going to places that it's not your culture. It's not your country. And also, it's not just women. It's not just black women. Black men are being deleted down there in Colombia. It was 22 or 26 of those so-called passport brothers that lost their lives down just in Colombia last year. Going to other cultures, to me, it just seems like the grass seeming greener on the other side. All of those Africans, well, I won't say all, but many of the Africans that can get out of those countries are getting out. And yet black Americans are running over there like it's some kind of promised land, won't even listen to what the people are saying who are leaving. We have to listen to what they're saying. They know the country better than we know it. And going over there going anywhere with your American dollars and think you're going to take over the place or whatever, it's really a mistake. It's all about being careful. And, I personally don't understand why people are leaving. We've worked so hard. Our family members worked so hard for this. But if you're going to go, you really need to know what you're doing. It's best to be safe than sorry. If you can't go with a travel group, if you can't get with, and the thing about African Americans, there are a number of African Americans living in the Gambia who have relocated to the Gambia. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to try to connect with your own people over there and see if you can find out what the situation is before you try to make it a permanent residence and you don't really know what the complete picture of that country is. It's a very sad situation. I have tried to look into it. I don't get a lot of information, but what seems to be coming out is that a lot of this has to do with cultural differences and also land disputes. So I will continue to look into this, and if I get something meaningful that I think will be helpful, I will definitely do a video about it. But anyway, this is what I've been able to find out. I hope it was helpful. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.